All right, let's talk about it. You know that little piece of plastic in your wallet? It feels like power, doesn't it? Kind of like the American dream, all wrapped up in a little rectangle you can just tap and go. But here's the thing. What if that whole feeling was by design? What if it's not a tool for you, but a script where you're just playing a part?
I mean, we're all taught the same thing, right? It's a tool. It's how you build the life you want. But is it really? Is that little card actually freedom? Or is it something else, kind of hiding in plain sight? Because when you look at the actual numbers, whoa, they paint a completely different picture. Get ready for this. $1 trillion. That's not a typo. That is the total jaw-dropping amount of credit card debt just in the US. And look, this isn't just a handful of people going on a shopping spree. This is systemic. It's a massive weight on millions and millions of families. And the scariest part? This didn't happen by accident. So let's just throw out the idea that this is a tool. It's not. It's a script. It's a story that's been carefully written and sold to us for decades. And the plot? Well, the plot isn't about helping you get what you want. The plot is about making a profit from how you get what you want.
This right here, this quote absolutely nails it. The line between using this thing and being used by it is paper thin, and that is completely intentional. So how do they do it? How does this script actually play out? Well, it all starts inside your head.
Okay, so Act 1 of this whole play, it's all about psychological engineering. They figured out how to create the perfect conditions for you to spend more than you mean to. And they do it by removing the one thing that naturally keeps our spending in check, the actual physical pain of parting with our money.
Just think about it for a second. When you pay with cash, like actual paper bills, you feel it, right? Your brain registers that as a loss. It's a real thing called loss aversion. But when you swipe a card, poof, that feeling is gone. The pleasure of getting something is totally disconnected from the pain of paying for it. It's smooth, it's frictionless. And the banks? Oh, they know this. They've studied it. They know that when you remove that little bit of pain, people will spend so much more. We're talking up to double what they would have with cash. It's wild.
All right, so they've made it easier for you to spend. That's step one. But the real masterpiece of this whole trap, the part that generates trillions in revenue, that comes after the purchase. Yeah, we need to talk about the minimum payment.
You know that tiny number on your bill, the minimum payment due? We're trained to see it as a lifesaver, a helpful little option when money's tight. But it's not a favor. It is a cold, hard formula. It's the smallest amount you can possibly pay to make sure the bank gets the most amount of interest from you for the longest amount of time. It's not designed to help you get out of debt.
And this is where the math gets brutal. Take a look. A $5,000 balance at a pretty typical 20% interest rate. If you only pay that minimum, you will be in debt for decades. And the total interest you'll end up paying, over $6,000. Just think about that. You paid more in interest than the stuff you bought was even worth. Now look at what happens if you pay a fixed, aggressive $250 a month. You're out in about 2 years, and the interest is a fraction of the cost. The difference isn't just big, it's life-changing.
And that leads us to the really uncomfortable truth of this whole business model. The ideal customer isn't someone who pays their bill off every month. And it's not someone who defaults. No. The most profitable customer, their sweet spot, is the person who stays in debt forever. Someone who just keeps making that minimum payment, stuck on a treadmill, basically renting money for the rest of their life. And finally, let's get to the masterstroke of the whole script, the credit score. That one little number we are all taught to worship as the ultimate sign of our financial health. But what if it isn't about health at all?
This is so important to get. You can have a perfect 850 credit score and be completely, totally drowning in debt. And a millionaire can have a mediocre score. The two are not the same thing because your credit score is not a wealth score. It's not measuring how much money you have. It's measuring something else entirely.
Let's start calling it what it is. It's a debt score. It's a grade on how well you play the debt game. It measures your history with borrowing, how reliably you pay your interest, and ultimately, how profitable you are to lenders. A high score doesn't tell a bank you're rich. It tells a bank, hey, this person is great at managing debt. Let's offer them some more.
So I know, hearing all this, it can feel a little bleak, right? It sounds like the game is totally rigged. And, well, in some ways it is. But here's the good news. The moment you understand the rules, the second you can actually see the script, everything changes. You're no longer just an actor reading their lines. You get to become the author. So how do you actually do it? It's not some magic trick, it's a mindset shift.
First, just see the script for what it is. Acknowledge it exists. Second, get comfortable with the math. Really understand how that interest works. Third, you've got to separate the act of spending from the ease of paying. Maybe use a debit card more, maybe even cash. And finally, if you have debt, your absolute mission is to attack the principal, that original amount you borrowed, not just dance around paying the interest.
At the end of the day, it really all comes down to this. You can't win a game you don't know you're playing. Understanding how this system is engineered to profit from your behavior, that knowledge is the single most powerful tool you have to take back control.
So I'll just leave you with this one question. Now that you can see the strings, now that you can read the script, the power is back in your hands. Are you going to keep playing the part they wrote for you? Or are you going to start writing your own story?